holiday in Singapore, and I went to all the museums, and there's one museum that you can go and look at this incredible maquette display of the planning of Singapore. Everything is like in miniature. You can find where you're staying, and it's absolutely brilliant. But the planning that Singapore's now going through, their planning phase, is incredibly intense with the community engagement aspect. It's all about creating this livable city that listens to what different generations want. And I think, you know, our role is anthropologists, our role is ethnographers. We are also very much involved in community engagement. We're also at the foreground of community change. So how we help empower and enact that, you know, by empowering the grassroots to then, you know, because we're not really addressing the elephant in the room here, and that is the big bully of mining companies and to some extent government. But that really impacts how well we do our work too. So that's just my thought.
I have to do an anecdote here. We first met on a heritage survey in the Pilbara many years ago, and the best example of complete lack of agency of anthropologists in the heritage industry, the mine in question was owned by Clive Palmer and the Chinese government, and the services provided for heritage were largely provided by consultants or some in the heritage, perhaps not the better end of the heritage industry. And I was brought in to do a heritage survey over an area that had already been cleared. And obviously didn't end well, but yeah, that's exactly the kind of practice that was happening there because we have no agency really.
Yeah, and there are multiple contesting native title groups doing an agreement. As a result, the agreement was pretty rubbish. Well, I think so. They may not, I don't know where it lands today. I think it was a pretty rubbish agreement. But we did rely on, you know, quite a lot of incredible work from gentlemen here in this room, Kingsley Palmer. And yeah, so, I mean, if those agreements were being negotiated today, it would be completely different. And that's the other thing that comes into play with agreement making is the economists now step into the room and they say, this is what's been done, you know, over in Queensland, this is what's been done over Australia, these are the kind of broad figures that we can get now. And I'm sitting there going, but what about 10 years down the track? Shouldn't we actually be thinking about that? Of course we're not, because we're just operating on the back foot all the time. But yeah, any other question?